Hello, Bigfoot enthusiasts. Scott here from Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research.
And Hannah from Squatching with Hannah.
And I might not be wearing pants.
Thank you. That's called TMFI. He's wearing pants, don't worry, I checked.
It's warm this evening.
Yes.
Oh, and it's humid because it's been raining here for
14,000 years.
At least. It's been crazy how much it's been raining here in Maine.
And now that we've got that hurricane down in Texas, it's probably coming up this way, all that tropical air.
Yeah, probably. Hurricane Hannah.
Finally got one named after me. But it's actually more of a tropical storm. It's not a real hurricane.
Well, it turned into a hurricane before it hit land, and then it went back.
Yeah, it's barely. Kind of, you know what? Its rage is doing my name a disservice, because let me tell you what, I am way more volatile than that.
She's not really.
Actually, well, all right.
Okay.
Anyway, it's so humid here today. We did a thing today.
We did.
We went for a walk, but not just any walk. And you didn't do any graphics to tell them what we did today.
No, I didn't.
So, my sister and I have both been on a very intentional health journey the last few years. And she tends to kick my butt in this area. And she's been doing these virtual 5K races for, I don't know, a couple years now. And she posts her picture. Well, I got on the bandwagon, and she's pulled her daughter, my sweet niece, Princess Emily, into that life with her, which is great because she's teaching her daughter these healthy habits. Well, this year, of course, with all the lockdowns, my poor niece wasn't able to do anything social for graduation. And so I was so proud of her for how she's managing the situation. I said, well, let's do a 5K together, you and me. We'll do the turn your notifications off. Anyway, I said, let's do the run for coffee and good vibes 5K together. And she got all excited. And then my sister says, well, why wasn't I invited? I said, because you don't drink coffee. And this is, I run for coffee. And so my sister then found a 5K that we could do together. And here's a funny story for you. So when we were teenagers, my sister and I didn't always get along. But one thing that we could agree on is we both loved Tom Cruise. I hope he's not listening to this. But we loved Tom Cruise. And we loved, yes, past tense. Not such fan anymore. But anyway, we loved Tom Cruise just desperately. And so we went together one day and we watched Top Gun. Run for me, goose. Run with me, goose. Whatever that is. Anyway, and what was really significant about that is we bonded over Tom Cruise and, Goose and Maverick. And also like a 5-pound bag of M&Ms. Yeah. Well, so that's like been a memory for both of us and that we've really clung on to. And so she found the Run with me, goose 5K. Which is in honor of Top Gun. And so we ran that together today. She in Southern California, me here in Maine. And Scott, who thinks it's silly to sign up for these things and pay money for swag, like a shirt and a medal and all that, because they're about $30 a piece. Both of these times he's done the 5K with me.
I have. And
we did a 5K today in about like 400% humidity.
Yeah.
75 degrees outside and 400% humidity. It was beautiful. It's like doing a 5K in a warm fish tank.
Yeah, it was. But it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And it's a testament. What I said on my Facebook post, and by the way, if you haven't friended me on Facebook, please go to Hannah Burko Violette and friend me on Facebook, and you can see it for yourself. But,
what if I can do that?
Oh, there you go. See, there we are. We're in front of Goose and Maverick. I made that graphic. I'm pretty talented. Anyway, but what I said was, it's so cool that, back when we were teens, we bonded over Goose Maverick and way too many M&Ms, and now we still bond over Goose and Maverick, but we also bond over not M&Ms, but creating stellar good health for ourselves.
All right. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Craig.
All right, yeah, and I hit another small achievement this week, too.
Oh.
What was that?
What was that? Do you want me to share it, or do you want to share it?
I I can share it.
Go
if
ahead.
You notice,
It's your victory.
If you noticed over the last few months, since we started it, about 7 months. If I've been looking thinner and thinner, we've been on a really good health plan. And so as from December 26th, we started the day after Christmas so we could still have that big Christmas meal. But the day after Christmas, we started our health plan. And when was it? Last Thursday? Mm-hmm. Which I don't know what day that was. But anyway, that was 2 days ago. 2 days ago.
3 days ago.
So the 23rd.
22nd.
Oh my God. The 22nd is I reached my weight loss goal of 100 pounds in 7 months. So nailed it. And now the next goal is to keep it off through a continued lifestyle of healthy choices, both physical and mental. Yeah, I'm mental. Anyway, so that's really helped us, and especially been hiking, been doing the 5Ks. We just did 2 of them
in the last 3 weeks.
3 weeks, and it's been really cool. I feel really good.
He's been building a building by himself.
Yeah, I've been building a building. I'll put pictures sometime soon. But anyway, I feel really good. We're going to go hike Mount Katahdin here
on August 19th, which is our anniversary,
yeah.
Our 23rd anniversary.
And we're going to go see if we can find us a Squatch on the mountain.
And if we can really get our stuff together, it would be great to do a video montage of like the last 23 years.
Ooh, okay.
Ouch, I know.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so let's get into what we were going to talk about tonight. And Hannah pointed out that I once again spelled everything wrong. So,
I love him anyway.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're going to be talking about Bigfoot hair. Before we get into that, sorry, I'm a little more housekeeping. If you notice, we weren't on the air last week.
This is another funny story. You guys will
We had a slight disaster with our camper. You know, we live full time in our camper, and
like any house, there's always something.
There's always something, and sometimes in campers, there's parts you really don't want to have to work on, which is the black tank, which holds all the
sewage.
Yeah, human waste stuff. Well, we went to dump our black tank and nothing came out. I'm like, oh no. And then we found out it had been leaking under our trailer for a little while. And I'm like, oh no.
Which meant there was no liquid in there to move the solid waste out, to either break it down or move it out.
Talk about my TMIs. Okay, but anyway.
It's called the pyramid of poo.
Yeah.
And it went almost all the way up to the toilet.
Yeah, so anyway, we ended up having to make a run to Bangor, which is about 60 miles away, because that's the nearest RV parts store, and buy some new valves, because the valve we had was leaking. So I bought 2 because I replaced both of them since I was going to be down there anyway. So
you really did not want to see him on camera after
a day of laying underneath the poo tank getting dripped on. It wasn't fun. So
thank you so much for your graciousness.
Yes, thank you.
You show us so much grace. And Craig, yes, I now hate it when that happens too.
Yeah.
Because not that I had to really help him. I think I handed him not a pipe wrench. What did you ask me for?
Channel locks.
I handed him channel locks.
And it took me 10 minutes to describe them in the toolbox before she found him. But
anyway, hush. But my job wasn't so much to do anything. It was to sit there and watch him for moral support.
Yeah. So.
And to hope and pray that the trailer jacks didn't give out while he was under there.
Yeah, that was fine.
Weird neurotic anxiety right there.
So.
Yep. Hey, Johnny and Paula, welcome. And Craig, of course, and Dale, Cousin Dale.
And Cousin Dale. Howdy. So anyway, now we can go on with what we were going to talk about. Bigfoot hair. So, the week before last, you probably saw our replay. We didn't do a live that night. We just replayed what we had recorded on our Bigfoot conference we had here in Millinocket. We didn't show you the parts that was afterwards where we were speaking with people and they were giving us information because it got dark. It got dark and we wanted to talk with people and we wanted to kind of keep it private and stuff so people will talk to us. But we did get some great information. I got some great photos of some Bigfoot foots that we're going to follow up on, and you'll be seeing those shortly.
Bigfoot foots?
Bigfoot footprints.
Okay.
So.
Really good ones. I saw them first, too, just so you know.
So, we had a guy who drove all the way over from Rumford. In fact, he's a squatching friend of mine. He came to Oregon and went squatching with me from Maine 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Something like that.
Anyway, he'd been having some activities at a neighbor's house to him. He lives out in the woods. So he brought a hair sample. Dun, dun, dun. So does Bigfoot have dreadlocks? That's the question of the day. Put it in the comments. What do you think? Does Bigfoot have dreadlocks? The reason I'm asking is this is what he brought me was dreadlocks.
It doesn't even look like me.
I know it doesn't look like you anymore, but it is you and dreadlocks. Orange dreadlocks. Now my question is, does Bigfoot have dreadlocks? Because orangutans, they do. They really do. And because they have long hair. Does Bigfoot have long hair? Some of the things we talk about, or some of the things people talk about with us is, yes, they do. They saw Bigfoot with long hair. And
I'm thinking one of the barriers that we have to formally recognizing Bigfoot is if that happened, there aren't enough hairdressers in the world to service them.
Exactly, that's just crazy.
And by the way, yes, Paula, it's raining again.
Yeah, if you can hear it in the background, there's nothing we can do about that.
And it is like the Eurythmics performing. Here comes the rain again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's crazy. But anyway, I posed the question. I shot an email off to Dr. Jeff Meldrum from Idaho State University.
He got back to you in record time.
I know, it was like record time.
Wow, it was like, what, an hour, 2
hours?
An
hour. He's like, boom, back to me. I sent him photos of what we got. I sent him some microscope photos. You're going to see those shortly of what we got. And he looked at them. He shot back a letter saying, yeah, you know what, orangutans, they're known for having dreadlocks. He had heard the stories before.
There's one heck of a handsome orangutan.
Yeah, I know. And I was going to, and so he's going to, I kept a sample of that Bigfoot dreadlock hair. I did give the most of it back to the person who found it, so it's theirs rightfully. But we kept a sample. I separated some of my sample that I had, and we mailed it off to Dr. Jeff. We're waiting for it to get there. He said he'd be out of the office for a week, and then it's going to take another week for it to get there anyway. So we'll know when since he has a chance to look at it and gets back to me. We'll see what he says.
There were definitely some consistency. Excuse me. There were definitely. It had some definite consistencies with other samples of unidentified primate hair.
Yeah, he did say it was Yeah, it did have some consistencies, but there was also something that was a little concerning about a cellular medulla, which we may have detected, but that's not consistent with other samples. But
and he has to actually look at it under a real
he's got to look at it in his big microscope. I have a smaller one. It's not a bad one. It's a good one, but depending on how you adjust the light and all that stuff, you can skew stuff. So I would have to be careful about that.
I was just totally impressed at the speed of his response.
Yeah,
that was pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool. So,
whoa!
So this right here, ladies and gentlemen,
that is one angry looking something.
Yeah, this is the famous Florida skunk ape photo taken in 2008 in Florida.
Where we will be in December, knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Yes. So we're gonna go catch us a skunk ape. But I got to looking at this here, and you know, this one's been debated for years and years and years. You know, because it came out in 2008. This lady took this picture off her porch in Florida. It concerned her. She sent it to the local police. They had no idea what it is. It's been bantered about possibly an escape orangutan. That's one I've heard, or it's a skunk ape. It's a Bigfoot.
I think he's smiling for the camera.
I think he is too. But you got that red eye shine. You've got what looks to be big canine teeth, which is kind of concerning to me. Stop.
That's what it looks like. Oh my gosh.
But I was looking at the hair, and it's pretty long.
Yeah.
You could dread some of that hair.
And you don't dread hair; it dreads on its own from lack of proper hair care.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's exactly how you get dreadlocks.
I'll put that picture back. Okay.
Well, put that away.
Okay. So this is the sample we got. Dun dun dun. This is what was found. Let's see if I can do this.
Can you make it bigger?
I'm going to try. I'm going to do this and this and let you guys see
the whole thing. Look at that.
Look at that.
See, it has not been washed in at least a decade.
Right, that's the whole hair sample. Now,
tell the story behind it.
I don't know.
It's on the fence.
Yeah, it was caught on a fence.
You can give the generic details.
The generic details is the lady who got this had multiple encounters. I'm trying to be very vague. She had encounters in her backyard. She lives out in the middle of the country here in Maine, near a place called Rumford.
Which is near a place called Mexico.
Yeah, there's a
Maine.
Mexico, Maine.
Great story behind that town too.
But anyway, so what she had, it was kind of interesting, is she had put up some trellises for flowers, roses I believe, in her backyard, and something had came into her yard at night, took the trellises down and stacked them up. I don't know, a human wouldn't have done that. I meant, why? Really.
And besides,
why?
We don't stack anything neatly unless our mothers are forcing us to. So there we go.
So there we go. Yeah.
Paula wants to know if that thing smelled.
You know what? That's a...
Did you smell it?
I didn't. I still have some of the sample. I can smell it if I wanted.
It looks like it should smell, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Well, there's another thing about that is there's a longer story to it. She had given the sample to somebody else who was interested in it, and she had kept it in a plastic bag, and the guy kept it in his glove box for 2 years.
This was not a fresh sample.
This was not a fresh sample. So it was in a plastic bag for 2 years. I do not have any hopes for DNA.
Could that kind of storage cause the DNA to deteriorate?
That could cause a lot of problems. So, in the future, anybody out there, you find hair samples, paper envelopes, and keep them dry. Do not put them in plastic.
What does plastic do?
Well,
Dr. Scott.
What, Dr. Scott? One, if you touch it with your hand, that's another thing too. You can contaminate it with your DNA, which makes it
worthless.
And secondly, you put it in a plastic bag. The moisture in there will mix with whatever. Like if you touch the inside of the plastic bag,
so condensation
will degrade, and it's just not good. You want to keep it
dry. Is that why every time I put lettuce in a plastic bag, it turns
wilts
to mush?
Yeah.
What should I be storing it in?
Something porous, like
holes in the plastic bag.
Holes in the plastic bag.
Got you.
That's why they put lettuce in those containers now with holes in them. Those plastic ones.
I learn something new every day on my journey with this guy.
Because I got kidneys. Okay, so anyway, so here's what a single hair looks like. One of the first things you look at when you get these hair samples and things like this is you want to look at the ends of them. Okay, so
split ends pretty badly.
No, so this one does not have a split end. That's a photo artifact. But what I'm going to say is you want to look at the ends of them.
It's still got a split end on it.
That's the root. Okay. The root's down at the bottom.
Oh, okay, I can see
it's
the
up
little
at the top.
thing.
Up at the top here is the end, and down here is the root. So up at the top, you want to look for a taper to see if it's ever been cut with scissors. If it hasn't been cut with scissors, you know, there's a good chance it's wild, right? So I looked at multiple piles of these hairs. I probably looked at 50 of them in the sample, and not with a microscope. I just took a magnifying glass, looked over the sample, and none of them were cut. All of them had tapered ends. So that's a plus. That's a big plus to look at, see if it's never been cut. The next thing so there's the tapered end under the microscope, and it looks to me like these little chunks. If you look, I got to get my hands right.
Yeah.
There, those little chunky things hanging off there was actual dandruff, which is possible DNA.
That is so gross. Dandruff makes that would be like a deal breaker. When you were dating, if you had dandruff, there's no way. Just saying, that's disgusting.
Yeah. So there's that. So this is a photo I took under my microscope. I've got a little deal that attaches my phone to my microscope, so you can take photos.
It is really kind of cool.
So this is the root end. So this was literally pulled out by the roots. So you can see the little
tendrils. An angry female, I'm sure.
Yeah, yanked his
hair right out of his body.
Yeah, got his dreadlock, just pulled it right off.
See, now women have no problem with that because we're yanking hair out of our bodies all the time, on our face and our eyebrows, other places. I once pulled a stray hair off of him, and I thought he was going to go through the roof, and it's like, wow, wuss.
Yeah.
Ladies, you know it's true.
So there's an up close one. Now, the common, like what Dr. Jeff told me, and what I'd heard before was the common Bigfoot hair does not have a cellular medulla, which is a line down the center of it, like a hollow core, basically. This was my first look when I zoomed in.
I don't see one.
I don't see one. So after playing with my light a little bit, I kind of brought one out. Now, whether that was an artifact from my lens and how I was looking at it, because to be honest with you, I don't know how to do this. I meant the hair isn't my thing, and
the cultural stories are his thing.
Yeah, but the hair isn't really my area of expertise by any means. So,
and I actually see several lines.
Yeah, and whether I was looking at this right or I was not, I had the magnification wrong, I had the lighting wrong on it. I don't know if that's a reflection. So, I'm not sure. So if we take my first look, there's no medulla. Lighten it up from the back, there's no medulla. But we will know when Dr. Jeff looks at it, because he's done this before. He's got,
and he's all got the fancy dancy stuff to use.
And he's got a whole university worth of equipment to use on it. So anyway, that's what we're shooting for. To hear back from him in a few weeks. And we will get that information to you as soon as we have it.
Breaking Bigfoot news. Hey, the BBN. Be better news than we hear most of the time these days.
Yes. Breaking Bigfoot news. No, there's a lot of channels out there that do that. Yeah, Squatch Chronicles are really good at that. If you want to follow a channel that has breaking Squatch news. And our folks from Sacramento, Squatchable. Yeah, they're really good. If you want to find breaking news channels, Squatchable, that's a good one. But anywho, so I've been keeping up with the chats. What do you guys think? Bigfoot dreadlock? Are we looking at a Bigfoot dreadlock?
Yeah, we're talking about conditioning, appropriate conditioning for dandruff. Johnny, I might have some recommendations for you because
What's that?
My stylist here in Millinocket turned me on to some really good product that has nothing added to it, so it might work for you.
No.
And I can't remember what it's called, but I've got it in the bathroom, and it's like it has no fragrances or anything, so it might. And that's usually what people are allergic to, are all the additives that make it smell good. So this smells like nothing.
Okay. Okay. Oh well, it's cool. Hey, look, we have very little lag tonight. Yes.
I know.
Okay, keep it up. We got a new internet system.
Yes, let's hear it for Nomad Internet.
Nomad Internet for us people who travel.
Yes, we will put a link to them in the notes after he actually edits this.
Not sponsored.
It's not sponsored, but honestly, if you sign up with them, we will get a credit towards lifetime free internet.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know about that, did you?
I did not know about that.
So,
but we'll put a link in the description. It's actually not bad, and it works anywhere.
It works anywhere, and they never throttle you. It's unlimited data.
Unlimited data.
Let's hope that doesn't change.
Yep. And they use cell towers instead of other stuff, and so it's what we're going to be using until Elon Musk gets his Starlink up. But anyway.
So we're halfway through the evening. Shall we show them? So, a few months ago.
Oh no! Are we done with the hair?
Oh, with the hair. Craig was wondering if that could have been a glare. It could have been.
It could have been a glare. Absolutely. That's why I thought. That's why I'm going to send it to Dr. Jeff. He's got better equipment. He knows. He's done this a whole lot more than I have. So, like I said, I'm no expert in the hair area, but so when we hear back from him, that's probably going to be a little more definitive, because I like, and this is something we've talked about before, like a couple, what is it? What did we talk about? Oh, we talked about peer reviewing stuff. That's where the word I was trying to get was peer review. And that's so important, especially in what we're doing with Bigfoot and stuff like that, is to have people you can trust to look at the things you find, and people who aren't afraid to look you in the eye and say, you ain't got nothing. That's nothing. So, which is good, because you got to have that. You got to have that balance. You got to have that person out there, because if not, I know myself, I would have a tendency to run through the woods and say every downed tree is a Bigfoot. I kind of do that jokingly a lot too, don't I? But when we're out in the woods, it's like everything. What was that noise? That was a Bigfoot. That tree break, that's a Bigfoot. I kind of do that jokingly, but it is jokingly most of the time. But I got to say something else. We went on a very long, all-day four-wheeler excursion up here in Maine, and they have these four-wheeler tracks that you can go.
Oh my gosh!
Miles.
I tell you what, Maine has got the best developed ATV trails I have ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, it's a state hobby, I think.
I think it's a state hobby, yeah. So even the people on the trails they have these sign language to let people know how many people you got following you and stuff. It's really cool. But so we went on this long trip that went out to this lake. Oh gosh, it's 25, 30 miles away from here, through the woods on four-wheelers. And so we stopped after we crossed this little bridge, and there was a little spot where there was this downed, where it wasn't downed, it was a...
I don't know, I wasn't there.
It was an old logging... What's the word for it? The brush piles they leave in the woods.
Old logging brush piles.
I know there's a word for them. They call them something, and I know what it's called, but I can't remember. But anyway, it's when they cut the leaves off the limbs off the trees and put them on the trucks, and they leave the limbs out in the woods. Up here in Maine, in Oregon, I know slash piles. That's what they're called. In Oregon, they usually burn them, but in here in Maine, I guess they just leave them, and people can scavenge wood out of them, or they just let them rot. Well, there's this old slash pile that had been beaten down to like it was just kind of this muddy thing in the swamp. And so while everybody was taking a break after we crossed this bridge, and everybody's stretching their legs for a minute, I walked out away from everybody, out across the slash pile and out into the little marshy area looking for tracks. It was kind of funny. I turned around, I was walking back to everybody, and the guy who runs the campground here, who I was in his four-wheeler, I was riding with him. He goes, "Well, you see any Bigfoot tracks?" And I go, "3." And he kind of laughed, ha ha ha, and got in the truck. But I think I saw 3 tracks, honestly. Straight up. They were about 15 inches long. They were old, really old. They were just barely discernible, but they were in the right spots. There was 3 of them. So, me had nothing to take pictures with because we were going for a four-wheeler ride. So that was dumb. But anyway, so we're going to be doing some more research up here, because there are quite a few people after our conference brought us photos of Bigfoot tracks, and a couple of them are really, really credible. And I saw some great photos, and we'll be sharing those shortly. We're going to, in fact, be talking about that maybe next week or the week after, the footprints in Maine. New footprints in Maine. New footprints in Maine. Recent footprints in Maine.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Craig said, "Wow, it is so thick." Yeah. Do you know what? The forest here is...
stupid.
It is. Wow.
I mean, stupid in a good way. Kind of like wicked.
It is just wicked.
Yeah. I don't know how the moose don't get caught up in it.
Yeah, I have no clue how the moose get through those trees.
What was it the other day when we saw that moose that just about ran into our truck? We went on the coolest hike.
Yeah.
So this has nothing to do with Bigfoot. But it has to do everything with how much easier it is to hike when you're not carting around 100 extra pounds, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, shameless plug for my health coaching services. Anyway, no, we went to, so close by here is a hike into the mountains here. You can go check out these things called the ice caves. Mm-hmm. I did not go down into the ice caves, not because I couldn't get down the ladder that goes into them, but he said it was really icy down there, and we all know how I do on like unstable, slippery surfaces. Bad idea. So I watched him describe the ice caves. Tell them about that, because you were in there.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't exactly a cave.
There's a big hole in the ground under the rocks.
Well, yeah. Here in Maine, there's these gigantic boulders. I mean, as big as my pickup or bigger.
And they're just sitting everywhere.
They're just sitting everywhere, and it looks like they were dropped, and they were dropped literally by glaciers back in the Ice Age. So this ice cave place they call the Ice Cave is a bunch of these gigantic boulders stacked on top of each other because there's a lake nearby, and what happened was that glacier stopped there and then melted. So it dropped these big boulders on top of each other and created a cave, basically, that you got to climb down almost vertically down into. But once you get down in there, it's really cool because the snow doesn't melt there. I mean, it was still ice. The inside of it was still lined with ice. It was nice and cool on a hot day. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome hike. Well, anyway, so that's not the point of the story. Isn't the hike? It's what happened after the hike. So we hike in and we hike out, and we're coming back to we're like on this little cut road between, you know, on our way back to town or campground or whatever, and all of a sudden, and I was honest, I was tired, and so I was in that, you know how you get as a passenger and you're kind of like, oh, I can take a little nap now. Yeah, that's my normal MO when I'm riding with him. And all of a sudden he says, I can't say it because they might block us, but oh, blankety blank, what? And there is like this enormous moose that just about ran into our truck.
Yeah.
She runs across and stops on the other side of the road and looks at. We were like, what, 20 feet away from her.
I know. It almost.
And she's
seemed,
just looking at us.
Yeah, it almost seemed like I could reach out the car window and touch her. You know,
and we got some great pictures, and we stopped there and we're taking pictures because that's what people do here is they take pictures of moose. And Craig and Johnny, actually, you are right. Moose are more dangerous than bears during rutting season.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's not rutting season right now, thank goodness. But nonetheless, this moose, we're sitting there and we're taking pictures, and she's looking at us, and finally she just goes. And I said, all right,
move along.
Anyway,
I don't want you to stop my car.
Yeah, and then it was just, that was like kind of awesome. Yeah. So Craig said, hey, we were over by Mount Ireland last weekend, and as soon as it got dark, we heard a half a dozen bunks that sounded like someone hitting a buckskin tree with a telephone pole going around for miles. Those were knocks.
Craig, let me tell you about Mount Ireland. That's where you need to be. That is squatchy place. It wasn't too far from Mount Ireland, where I got the photo of the one 2 years ago. If anybody ever gets a chance to go to Portland and go to actually Boring, Oregon. Yeah, there's a town in Oregon called Boring.
You can go see Cliff at his museum there.
Yeah, Cliff Berkman from Finding Bigfoot has a museum there. A Bigfoot museum, of course. And in his museum, there's on display a stump with fingerprints in it. It was a tree where Bigfoot grabbed it and twisted it off. And
Craig, your darling wife was exactly right.
Yeah, what?
She swore it was Bigfoot.
Yeah, she was, because, well, this tree stump that's in Cliff's museum comes from Mount Ireland. It was from a witness that gave me the tree stump, and I gave it to Cliff to put in his museum. And it comes from Mount Ireland in Oregon.
That was the Bigfoot dipping into the Nutella. Wasn't it? No, different one.
That was the stump.
Oh no, you got the Bigfoot dipping into Nutella.
And he traded me a cast of fingerprints.
And this stump looks like it was literally squeezed by this huge hand. And you can see the prints
in the bark. You can see the fingerprints in all the bark, and it's pretty cool. But that's in Boring, Oregon. If you want to travel to Boring,
that's about all there is.
Yeah, is Cliff Berkman's Bigfoot Museum. What's it called? Oh my gosh, I feel bad now. I don't remember what it's called. North American
Bigfoot Museum.
Bigfoot Museum.
Something like that.
I think, yeah.
Look it up. You can Google it.
Yeah, but
he's all over the internet, so you know.
Yeah, but that was
our shameless plug for Cliff. We love you, Cliff, man.
Yeah, and that was from Mount Ireland. We have got recordings from near that area. A whoop recording. I think I've played it here actually. The recording with the whoop. That was from Mount Ireland area. So long history. In fact, I can tell you a story if you want to go back. Late 90s, I think it was. A young man was up there prospecting. There are a lot of gold mines up there. from way back in minor 49er days. There's 150 or 200 mines in that area, and nobody goes back up there anymore. But there was a young man who was spending a few days up there on Mount Ireland, panning for gold. A lot of people go to the dredge piling, or not dredge, but the tailings from the mines, and you can get gold out of those because they didn't collect everything. And so he was up there for 3 or 4 days, and he was running back to the town called Sumter. You know where that's at, Craig. He was going back to Sumter to resupply, and he was on a 4-wheeler and came around a corner and almost hit a Bigfoot with his 4-wheeler. He stopped. The thing looked at him, stepped over the edge. It was kind of a steep hill. Everything in that country steep. Kind of stepped over the edge, stopped and looked back at the guy. He pulled his pistol and it turned away from him and just stepped off this like really steep hill and just vanished. Just walked down on the hill like he was skiing, but in the summer. Pretty amazing. So there's another Mount Ireland story. But yeah, if you heard knocks up there, I would almost guarantee you it was a Squatch, because there's not a lot of people up there. So there we go. Any more?
Danny joined us. Hi, Danny. Nice to see you. And Paula says she's seen some cool things from his museum. Yeah, he is really cool. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
We like Cliff.
Yeah, we like Cliff. He's cool.
And he geeks out on science.
Yeah, he really does.
And we both are science geeks, so.
Yeah.
So anyway, it is now 8:42. We've got 18 minutes.
Oh, so we talk about our new thing.
Okay,
no, we've been
talking about it. But guess what we have? So we are starting.
Start your engines.
We are starting the rebranding process. Let me tell you right now, this is your last opportunity to get until they're gone. We are cutting prices on Blue Mountain Bigfoot research logoed stuff.
Yeah.
So, t-shirts, we're slashing those prices to $15. That includes your shipping. Mm-hmm. Basically what we paid for them plus shipping, because Squatch America really is happening, and we want to show you our new logo, which was designed by an awesome gal that we work with here at the campground, Michelle Gregoire. She has a great little website called a company called Ripple Design. She's
She's a graphic designer.
She did the coolest new logo for us. So
I actually, for the first time in my life,
you paid for a logo.
I paid for a graphic designer to do something cool for me.
Because normally, we're not too shabby ourselves, and we've always done our own work, but it was really kind of nice to farm it out to someone.
Yeah, and she showed me this, and we talked, and she showed me things, and we worked it out, and then you guys ready?
This is awesome. I loved it. Yeah, drum roll, please.
Drum roll,
this is our new logo.
This is going to be our new logo.
Here, make it big.
That is big. That's as big as it gets.
Oh, okay.
All right.
What do you guys think about? Drop it in the chat.
Yeah.
What do you think of our new logo? And Paula wants to know, while y'all are looking for that, have you seen orbs when you've seen Bigfoot? You've got a recent story.
No, hush. Okay.
This is going to be a future episode.
There's a future episode coming. Who said that? Paula. Keep your eyes open. It may be a Footprint Friday. I know I haven't done those in a long time. It may be coming up, but we're going to be doing a whole story on that real soon, because I just recently.
We got recent stuff.
Recent stuff. Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, let's see. Paula likes it. Johnny likes it. Anyone else? Your feedback is kind of irrelevant because we're not necessarily changing it. But at first, it was just a green logo. The whole section there was green. But I said, why don't we start at blue? Because, like red, white, blue for
Red, white,
America?
blue for Murica. And should we take the A off and just say Murica? We should.
And change it to a U? Squatch Murica?
Squatch Murica. Yeah.
Shall he, like, hold an AK or something?
No. No.
All right. Whatever. Anyway, but I said, why don't we start it in blue? Because, you know, red, white, and blue, and then fade it into a green forest. And so we got the gradient from blue to green. And
yep.
And we just absolutely love that. So we're going to be taking all the vinyl, all the decals off. We're going to have to change what we've got on the paddy wagon. We're going to have to change what's on the truck.
We'll just have to change, not the paddy wagon, but...
Well,
yeah,
anyway. Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research will always take you to probably.
And shirts are coming, yeah.
Shirts are coming. Baseball caps are coming.
Coffee cups.
Coffee mugs will come. Mouse pads. Shoulder bags. Lunch boxes. Commemorative lunch boxes are coming.
I think
anything else I can brand? Oh, how about those little foam cup coolers?
Oh, and the big fingers. The big
fingers.
We'll do it.
So, anyway. So.
Oh, wow. Craig's talking about orbs too.
Yes.
All right. So, I'm going to give you a little hint, but we've been talking about this, and I think I've said this before. When I was working with the Miwok tribe in California, there is a Miwok legend.
Which means at some point it came from something factual, whatever that was, because all legend is
just
based
to give
in
you
fact.
something to ponder and something to chew on.
Masks. Johnny says, "Are we going to do masks?"
Yeah,
we should. Just
mask with holes in them where your face is. No,
we should.
I got a problem with masks, and you guys know that. But anyway.
But we could.
We could
market them to the masses.
Yeah. So anyway.
And that makes us politically correct.
It does. No, I'm just saying on where I stand with the masks. Everybody knows this, but I did a little further research into medical stuff and found out that if you weigh around 180 pounds, human has 6 pounds of bacteria in your body. Most of it's in your colon, and to break down stuff.
And create those pyramids of poo in our back deck.
Yeah, but there is a concentration of bacteria in your nose. And guess what it's supposed to do?
Stop viruses.
So,
So just drop it there because you're not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying the masks only block out bacteria.
And you want bacteria there.
Yeah, just think about it. Anyway, so that's neither here nor there, and I'm not giving you any advice.
But masks are a great idea.
Masks are a great idea. So,
seriously,
what was
I might wear those.
What was I talking about?
The
the Miwok Indian
fact.
legend. You ready for this? Everybody sitting down. The Miwok legend of the Bigfoot is he's a hairy brother. They look at him as a spiritual being, as they do a lot of animals, by the way. The Native American culture considers, coyotes brother,
bobcats, dragonflies, robins, everything's
a brother. So if you got to think about their culture and their belief system, but Bigfoot is a hairy brother, or actually they look at them more as like almost shamanistic. And the legend goes,
I love a good myth. I really do.
The legend goes, the Miwok tribes say that wherever Bigfoot goes, a light follows.
Isn't that beautiful? Someone do a painting. We should get Dave to do a painting.
We should get Dave to do a painting. Yeah, but anyway. So, there you go. Think about that. And we've got some future photos coming. Photos
that rocked his world.
Made me go, whoa.
Made him rethink the whole metaphysical thing for about 2 seconds.
But it was really cool. And that's coming. I'm actually doing an interview tomorrow on Zoom with the lady who sent me the photos. So we're going to record that and we'll probably play it back here.
It's going to be so awesome.
It's going to be awesome. Okay, so keep that up.
Ooh, 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 Paula Holland. I love you, Paula.
What did she say?
We really have got to meet up sometime because
Yeah.
honestly, I think when we would tear up a Starbucks. But anyway, I just think it would be awesome. We're like soul sisters, I think. She says, look at what Paula said.
She's a respiratory therapist and they don't work for this. Thank you very much. Okay, Paula, and all you out there, here's another one.
Not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
Didn't even play one on TV.
But I was in the military, and I also was a nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare specialist. NBC. And we had to learn how to survive in all sorts of really nasty stuff.
Like sarin gas.
Like sarin gas and stuff
COVID's
like that.
bad.
Yeah. Try
sarin
living in that, okay? But we had masks that we wore when we're in really bad stuff. And one of the things we used to test our mask with was actually banana oil. If you could smell banana oil with your mask on, it wasn't working. So I heard somebody say something, if you're wearing a mask and you can smell a fart, it's not working. So... just saying. All right.
But I still think we need masks because why not make a dime or 12,000
yeah, or 12,000
off this nonsense?
Bigfoot mask. Yeah, our Squatch Murica. So anybody with me with the Murica instead of America? Squatch Murica.
I think Squatch America is much easier. Rolls off the tongue better. And it doesn't smell like armpits. Murica smells like armpits.
Yeah.
Sorry, it does.
I know. So
anyway, we got 8 minutes left.
Okay.
So remember, Squatch America, the whole point of the rebranding and all that, it reflects the change in our direction.
The change in our direction, yeah. And what I want you guys to start thinking about, and some of our really, really good followers, the people who have been here with us for a while now, we appreciate you guys, by the way.
I have no idea.
You have no idea how much we appreciate you. And another thing we want to do is we want to, come to a town near you.
Even if you're in Oregon.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as Kate Brown gets her act together. Okay, anyway, but we know that's not going to happen. But anyway, as soon as the world gets back to normal.
That's not going to happen.
And
either.
I'm not doing the new normal. That's not a thing. But anyway, as soon as the world gets back to normal and we can get
traveling for real.
Yeah, traveling to a town near you and have
community
talks and things like that. We want to come to where you guys are first.
Yeah. Paula did bring up a good point. Thank you. I told you, soul sisters, right there. Some people won't know what Murica means. Yeah, that's very true, and it does. The word smells like an armpit. I'm sorry.
The word smells like
it does. I think Squatch America. It's got just a beautiful sound to it.
Yeah, it does. I know. I'm just teasing.
No, you're not. He was hoping.
I was hoping. But no, Squatch America is going to be coming to a town near you. We're also very excited to we're headed here, one of our second stops after we leave here,
which, and the timeline for that is a little ambiguous right now.
Yeah, so we may be going to Texarkana, Texas, which is right next to
Falk, Arkansas.
If you ever seen The Legend of Boggy Creek, go watch it now.
We should do a watch party.
No, go watch it. I'll wait. No, really. So we're gonna...
I'm sorry, Craig. We love you. We'll miss you. Wear it down under your nose just to.
Yeah, there you go. So.
I saw a guy today. He had his under his bottom lip. He couldn't say he wasn't wearing it.
Yeah.
And there is no correct wearing of them, so.
I know.
Anyway, have a great time with your grandkids. Enjoy some cake for me. I miss cake. Ooh. Anyway.
I don't know what Paul is saying no to, but okay.
He's got to go. Wear a mask.
Bye. Peace out.
No, this is the Hunger Games.
Alrighty. So where are we at?
When are we coming to North Carolina? Okay.
Okay.
So let's talk briefly about a plan.
Don't forget Bong Park in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Yes.
We cannot miss Bong Park.
We are not going to miss Wisconsin.
We have to go through Wisconsin to get to South Dakota.
Yeah. So that's one of the first places we're going to be going to. So we may hit Wisconsin sooner than you think.
But anyway, so our plans for the next, say, between now and April of next year. April of next year, we'll be back in Oregon and Idaho. April and May. Mm-hmm. So between now and then, our plans are to get to South Dakota, get our domiciling situation all taken care of. And that has to do with cash flow, which is work coming together. But it's all like this weird timing thing. Mm-hmm. But then our plans include, we could do it backwards. We could go to Texas, Falk, Arkansas, after South Dakota, and then swing to Florida, and then up to the Carolinas. So Wisconsin to South Dakota, down to Texas and Arcana, and then to Florida for Christmas.
It's Texarkana.
Whatever. And then after Texarkana, we go into Florida for Christmas, because I want to spend Christmas in the Keys.
And when you go, catch us a skunk ape too.
Yeah, why not?
With dreadlocks.
That smiles like this.
See what I did there?
I'm going to do that just... And then after Florida, we could come up through the Carolinas, because I wanted to go back to South Carolina. We've got friends in South Carolina. And then we can go up into North Carolina, where I also have friends and where we have Paula.
Oh, we have Paula.
Yes.
Cool.
Do they have good Starbucks in North Carolina? I mean...
There are no coffee shops in Maine.
There are no... Well, not here.
Not
in fact,
where
someone even asked, what is a latte? And it's like, who are you and what century do you live in? I was like, oh, really?
I'm so sad.
And it's like, don't bring me Folgers ever.
And their best coffee here?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts. Really? Really, people? Dunkin' Donuts is the best you got. Oh, Maine.
And Paula says, yeah, so Starbucks, you and me, sweetheart.
Okay.
It's true.
It's true. There's your skunk ape.
All right. Tell me it doesn't look like that. Okay.
Okay. So
that could be actually a good route if we wind up staying here as long as we, so I think the most logical route will be to go through Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, down south to Texarkana, and then back east and do this loop.
Up through the Carolinas. Okay. Yep. Done. Just for you.
Oh, no Krispy Kreme. Sorry.
No.
No Krispy Kreme. Let me tell you what. In our last minute, I spent all weekend at a virtual conference for the health company that I coach for. And Dr. A, just today, reminded all of us sugar it has the same effect on the brain as cocaine.
Well, I knew that, but...
And honestly, I had some sugar while he was gone.
Oh, at one time...
It was a lemon blueberry whoopie pie. Don't talk to me, I had a hamburger and protein for dinner. Anyway, and honestly, the minute I ate it, I could feel my ankles starting to swell up. It was terrible. So, I'm going to have to back off the sugar thing. No sugar. But yes, lots of, a venti Americano with heavy cream is like my version of heaven. So.
Yeah, 4-shot mocha.
Oh, I've had Krispy Kreme donuts. Trust me. I've had them a box at a time.
Oh, yeah. We used to live right next to a Krispy Kreme.
Fresh, off the thing.
Yeah.
And so fresh that you can't even chew them because they're still so warm, and you just kind of
That's where I gained
the.
That's where I gained the 100 pounds
this
that I just lost.
Krispy
Was
Kreme
Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. So. Anyway, donuts are not our thing. Yep. But anyway, it is now 9:00 and it's time for us to say goodbye. So thank you so much for watching and for being gracious in our absences, for laughing along with us, and yes, it's our new theme. Our job is to investigate the unexplained, not to explain the uninvestigated. So with that, we want to say thank you for watching. Come back next week. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things. We will be posting all those links in the edited show notes. And so until then, keep it squatchy and
go out and find Bigfoot.
Bye.
Bye.